Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And if you're yet to subscribe, please consider doing so. It helps the channel grow and makes our voice just a little louder. And today, what we're screaming about is the TikTok generation. They're being targeted by awful people. Not just the P's, of course. We're talking children targeted deliberately by the trans lobby. They sit there on TikTok and they push their warped ideology onto vulnerable children. And we know this because there's so much evidence of it, particularly this story. Let us take a look at this article about a very, very dangerous doctor indeed, who mutilates children on an industrial scale. Honestly, you won't believe the amount she does. Here we go. So this is an exclusive. Miami sex change surgeon who dubs herself Dr. Titus Deletus is reported to the consumer watchdog for deceptively luring vulnerable teens into transgender operations with gimmicky TikTok video blitz. If ever you need an example of why TikTok is designed specifically to destroy children, here we are. And the trans lobby are all over TikTok. They're pushing it. And then you get this surgeon advertising it, making it cool. Come along, kids, get your ghoulies off. So, Miami plastic surgeon, Dr. Sidhbh Gallagher, I believe that'll be Seath, I think that's the Irish pronunciation. Dr. Sidhbh Gallagher is under fire for her social media, where she touts her business to 280,000 TikTok followers almost daily. The complaint to the Federal Trade Commission says she deceptively nudges vulnerable teens into sex change operations. It accuses her of talking up the benefits and downplaying the risks of removals and other surgeries. Her Florida clinic says it aims to educate and celebrate a marginalised group. I bet it's actually in it for the money. And trust me, you ain't seen nothing yet. The complaint is among a number of attacks on the clinic, it says. Dr. Gallagher, who's from Ireland, has said she performs between 400 and 500 surgeries a year. That's 500 children sterilised every year. She is a monster. Last year, she carried out 13 top surgeries on minors, up from a handful a few years ago, she told the New York Times last month. Now, that's reduction. That's this off. I can't say the words because, you know, the YouTube algorithms, but it's tissue, upper chest tissue, we'll say, and that's been removed on minors, children. The government watchdog has special rules for marketing to children. Not on TikTok, they don't. So a Florida-based plastic surgeon who dubs herself Dr. Titus Deletus, a glib reference to the top removal surgery, has been reported to America's consumer watchdog for using a huge TikTok following to unfairly and deceptively sway teens into having these operations. She is pushing this agenda onto people who are not necessarily or even probably remotely gender dysphoric. What these are confused or vulnerable teens. They might be coming out sexually. They're not sure who they are, what they are. And she is going, come on, kids, you and make me rich by coming to my clinic and letting me cut your sack off. This is ridiculous. It accused Dr. Gallagher, who says she carries out between 400 and 500 surgeries a year, of using catchy videos with pop music backing tracks on social media platforms as a marketing gimmick to attract vulnerable and impressionable minors to everything from removals to what she's euphemistically calling bottom surgery. In other words, cutting the ghoulies off. These are children. These are what she's doing here. After the Second World War, there were people dangling in Spandau for things like this, and she is making a fortune on it. The clinic said in a statement that the videos aim to educate and celebrate a marginalised group. No, they really don't. The marginalised group are actually so very, very, very tiny that there's no way one woman could be doing 500 surgeries a year. She is just farming these children for profit. For those experiencing gender dysphoria, a tiny, tiny number, transitioning with chemicals and surgery can be life-saving. No, actually, gender dysphoria is not a life-threatening disease. It's a mental illness. It does not cause you to all of a sudden stop living. Unlike the surgeries, which sometimes do. Some experts warn against providing irreversible treatment to adolescents, pointing out growing numbers who come to regret their procedures, 90%. And some, almost as soon as they wake up from the anaesthetic, regret it. But it's 90%. The self-ending rate is 90 times higher in that group than any other group, than the background level, should we say. Whether to allow young people to take puberty blockers, hormones, or undergo surgery has become a hot button issue in America's culture wars. Not just America. I mean, it's worldwide now. Here in Britain, certainly Australia as well. All over Europe, it's now a very, very hot button issue everywhere. Because what it effectively is mass, factory scale sterilization of children. And like I say, this is the sort of thing that happened 90 years ago in Auschwitz, in Baden-Baden. This is exactly what these people are. That's what these people are. These people should be treated exactly the same as we treated those people in Auschwitz and Baden-Baden and Dachau. They're no different. Moving down, Dr. Gallagher, who taught at Indiana University before opening her business in 2020, has 273,000 followers on her main TikTok account, and she'd love to get every single one of them on her operating table. Another 7,000 as The Vagician MD, and many more fans on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. She is, she's awful. I mean, you're calling yourself things like this to attract children so that you can perform irreversible, damaging, possibly the last thing they ever do kind of surgeries, and she's making light of it. Monster, absolute monster. Her unusual embrace of social media platforms has made her one of the most visible SC surgeons in the US, as well as courting criticism from conservatives and some parents and doctors as the audience skew the young. She should be locked up. According to the complaint, Dr. Gallagher has released thousands of videos advertising her gender-affirming plastic surgeries to children and teens in a bid to convert them into her patients for money. Her videos glamorise, romanticise and valorise medical gender transition. It's one of the most awful, awful things anyone can ever do. The success rate is low. The mental effects are horrendous. The pain, the lifestyle changes, it's irreversible. Many are reduced to being catheterized for the rest of their lives. They will never enjoy the body they become because you can cut things off, but you can't change the basic fundamentals of the human body. So you can you can hack off a penis, but you can't take away the root of the penis because that's connected all up internally to all sorts of different things that's needed for. So what you've effectively got is a man with no penis, but he'll still have all the urges and still feel the chemical push for an erection, but there's nothing there to erect. Losing his penis does not mean he becomes a woman. Not a chance. He is still a man, and he's still got the problems of the old prostate, still going to be producing semen for the rest of his life. Where's that semen going? It's awful. It's what she does is quite literally lies to children to get them to give her money so she can mutilate and sterilize them. And then she's singing like the mad, bad witch of the West. Oh, look at me, I'll cut your ghoulies off and it'll be fun. No, it won't. It will never, ever be fun. And you're looking here, signal sound everywhere. First surgeon I've ever seen on here, especially for this stuff, but definitely saving info for when I'm old enough. This is a child. She's lured a child. She's a groomer. If nothing else, she is a groomer. She should be on a register. To induce young followers to her services, Gallagher's video marketing spots misrepresent the removal of healthy body parts as medically necessary, proven quick, safe, effective and safe. Not true. Neither, well, maybe quick, but it's not effective and it's certainly not safe. While omitting the real physical and psychological risks, says the 18-page document. It also takes aim at slang terms used by Dr. Gallagher in her videos. She calls herself Dr. Titus Deletus in posts, and in another glib reference to that removal, describes the procedure as yeet the, and you can see the word. Again, it's the YouTube algorithm here. In one such video, Dr. Gallagher appears wearing scrubs and looking sad. Superimposed over her head is the text, "Just realised I only get to yeet 4 T's next week." So she's crying because she's only got 4 operations lined up and her bank balance needs a lot more than 4. But luckily, she's got 270,000 children that she's grooming ready to mutilate. The videos are a brand marketing scheme that present Dr. Gallagher as an entertaining celebrity surgeon to expose hundreds of thousands of underage social media users to her services and win future customers, says the document. The complaint features a 36-page compilation of dozens of Dr. Gallagher's clips, accompanied by comments from teenagers using expressions of desire to have procedures once they reach the requisite age. It's just awful. It is just awful that this is allowed, that she's not in prison, that she needs to be on a register. This woman represents a clear and present danger to children everywhere. She is the mutilator of children. She's doing it purely for profit. Now, this is Sonny Bryant. Texas, she wanted to go, or he, child or boy, he wanted to go onto the blockers. Texas said, no, you're 8, you're not doing it, you're too young. They're trying to fight a court case. This is a boy who is actually gaslighted by his parents to be going to do this because the parents need to feel special. Oh, look at us, we've got a trans child. Quick, get them in, get ghoulies off. This boy wants his ghoulies off now, he's 8. That doctor would do it. That doctor would take that child right now and do it and wouldn't care one shit about that child's mental health. And this woman, I'm just so angry. This mad, evil, I can't even find the words. If I was to say the words I want to say, this video would never go out because it would just be completely censored by YouTube. But I want you to think of certain medical practitioners in the Second World War, in Germany, in certain places, that would do experimental surgery on children. That's her. That's what she is. She is no more different than them. And they dangled. She needs to dangle. I'm coming up. I get the impression we're living in a David Cronenberg film. It's body horror everywhere. And it doesn't matter what their cause is. They always have the same agenda. Target the children. They are all predatory groomers. Peas, if you will. They are all, every single one of them. Some of them, like this one, hide behind a medical doctorate. But none of them are to be trusted. They should all be on a register. And they should all really be watched like hawks. They are dangerous. And they're coming after children constantly, all the time. And this is why TikTok is their living room. They sit there preying on the vulnerable. They are vultures. They are scum. You need to make sure your children are not on TikTok. Treat TikTok no different than a predatory pea. Yeah? I can't say that. Again, I want to use the words I want to use, and I cannot use the words I want to use because of this rule. But you know exactly what I mean. Imagine everybody on TikTok is one of them. Because they are. And imagine everyone who's in the blue hair brigade and who wants to talk about gender ideology. You know that they're a groomer. They're a child predator. Every single one of them. And if you treat every single one of them exactly like that, your child will be safe. Anyway, I'm going to stop now. If you like what you hear and see on the channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notifications of future output. Leave a like, leave a comment. Please share the video. And if you especially liked it, please use the super thanks down at the bottom. But until next time, stay well, stay safe. Please, for heaven's sake, protect your children. And goodbye.